So I've made over 150 videos that talk about the gaming on MacBooks, like the MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air, the 12-inch MacBook. I decided to take all those videos and put it into one big video to help you guys decide on which type of MacBook you should get if you are considering gaming. I'll be answering all your guys' MacBook-related gaming questions and other questions you may have in the comment section down below. So if you do have a question, please do comment below and I will be getting back to you guys. The information in these videos is extremely useful because you really have no way to know what it's like to game on a MacBook until you either tried it yourself, and to do that you'd have to literally install every single game available. Well, here's the awesome thing that I'm telling you right now. I've tried all the games on these MacBooks. I've tried it on the Airs, I've tried it on the Pros, the 12-inch MacBook. So this video will save you tons and tons of time. All right, let's take a look at the MacBook Air. The game doesn't have the craziest amount of frames, but it does run somewhat smooth. There are some games that can run at 28 to 25 frames per second and they'll feel choppy and laggy, but in this particular game, the Fox engine, however they optimize it, whatever they're doing is working because it feels smooth even though you don't get a lot of FPS. Put the resolution down to the lowest possible, 900 by 600, it does run significantly better. At this point, just keep everything the lowest possible. And you're still gonna be able to enjoy it. I enjoyed playing this again on the MacBook Air, and definitely runs a little bit better on the MacBook Pro. But look at Counter-Strike Global Offensive and see how well it runs on the new MacBook. Let's take a look. You know, let's try to put everything on medium. All right, so here we are in game. Yeah, it looks like the game's running pretty decently, actually. Pretty smooth. Not gonna have any problems running Counter-Strike Global Offensive or any other Counter-Strike variants. Okay, so I changed one setting here in the options, the sub-sampling quality, and I literally got an extra 20 FPS. Oh yeah, running a lot better. Holy smokes. Really smooth. 50 to 60. Yeah, this is definitely how you want to play, all medium. And it'll look good and it'll run well too. So even on medium, in the open world, you're getting about 35, 30 FPS. Still pretty impressive. This game looks great. The greatest compliment I can get is you subscribing. So subscribe and let me know which type of videos you guys want me to make. I like to make these videos to the point, no time wasted. If you have any idea on how I can improve the video, go ahead, leave a comment down below. Smite on a 2015 MacBook Air. Essentially, what you can know about this game is that it's really optimized. Like, this game runs really well. I had it on maximum graphics. First I tried high ran well. I tried maximum's running good. Got 1280 by 800. You might even be able to increase the res more. But right now, you will not need to worry about playing Smite on the MacBook Airs or the MacBook Pro. I have not, and for the most part, I don't believe I've dropped below 33 FPS at any point in time. Maybe there might have been a few, but now we're testing StarCraft 2 on the MacBook Air 2015 edition. This thing has base specifications, got the actually, well, I did upgrade it to the 8 gig RAM with the i7, but those upgrades actually don't really help you, is what I figured out. So just get the base model if you are going to get one of these laptops to play the game. So what I can tell you is from the start, you're getting pretty good FPS. Pretty much we're all running on medium right now. You're going to be getting about 70 to 60. During intensive moments, you'll drop down to 30, and it might hiccup every now and then, but overall it's going to work pretty good. I'm pretty surprised at how well it runs. So just take a look at this performance and let me know what you think. In my particular case, I think it's actually pretty awesome that this thing even works. If you like the videos that you see on this channel, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want me to test a specific game, just leave a comment down below and subscribe. City skylights running on. Cool if you could see people walking around the streets. I think my graphics are too low for that. We've got HD 6000 running the show right now, and it's definitely a little bit more powerful than HD 5500. I'd give it, I don't know, I'd say it has maybe 5 extra frames at the most. For city building games, it really doesn't matter too much because you don't need a lot of frames for city building games.
but it looks like everything's working out.
So here I am in game, choosing the Soviet side, representing my nation. All right. Oh, whoa, that's so cool. It shows like a little replay of like where I hit them and stuff. No way. This is so freaking legit. Hit the front armor. All right. Number one thing I learned, my dad was a tank commander in the Soviet army. He actually told me never stand still in a battle, because that's what's gonna kill you. Look at that. I haven't been shot at all. And I'm just like dodging left and right. Oh shit, there's like 3 guys shooting at me. This could be it. Oh, I'm down. Wow, this is actually a really cool game. I really like the, oh, it has like a replay. That's freaking awesome. Shows the engine and stuff. What? You can see the game runs really well on the new hardware. Very pleased to announce. This is BioShock running on the new MacBook Air 2015 edition. Take a look and see how good this thing works. Initially, you guys asked me to test BioShock on the MacBook Pro. After doing so, I got a request to do it on the Air, so I decided, you know what, might as well just get it done. If you have a specific game you want me to test on a specific laptop, just leave a comment down below. Am I still in heaven? Let's find out. Beautiful, man. Oh, floating around. That is something.
Reply to everybody's comments, so go ahead, comment below.
If you think there's a way to improve this channel or improve this video, leave a comment down below, and I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. Here we're testing Black Ops 3 multiplayer. We're just trying to see whether the game is enjoyable and playable. Let's take a look. It looks like it's actually going to be playable. Looks like there's a few areas where you're going to lag up, but other than that, because Black Ops 3 uses more than 4 gigabytes of RAM, I highly recommend you get 8 gigs in your MacBook Air configuration. Z1 on the new 2015 MacBook Air. So basically you gotta put pretty much all the graphics on low. You can't really play this game any other way. Like always, I do the 1280 by 800 resolution. That usually makes things run a lot smoother. Yeah, it's I mean, it's playable, but as you can see there, I didn't survive that arrow shot. The game still looks pretty good even on low graphics. And you can kind of bump it up to medium a little bit, but you're going to be roughly running around below 30 FPS, and that's kind of expected from indie games. So just keep checking back. I'm going to probably release an updated video on this to see if this game... Whoa, no! Holy crap, this game's awesome. Oh. Dude, the fighting is really good. No way. Oh shit, they're just running away. What? Good 30 to 40 FPS when you're running the graphics on high. Now, if you turn them up to really high or extreme, you can still play the game and you can still have a good time, but it runs out at like 20 FPS, 25. And any other questions at all, guys, I'm here to help you, so just let me know what you guys think. On the Team Fortress 2, take a look. Graphics are all set on high here. Let's go ahead and join a server so we can get the FPS there. So I'm just going to run through the map real quick and show you how well the FPS is. Look at that. Staying above 60. See if I can steal the flag. Oh shit. Yeah, totally smooth. Hundreds of frames. Makes sense when you're inside a building. Oh, what do you know? You can see the game runs pretty decent. AC 6000 graphics here. It's running pretty good, especially in such a big open world. Getting about 150 frames, a little bit more. It's not bad. So yeah, with physics, it's pretty good. I mean, this is already a fairly old game, and it's pretty optimized now. So, I mean, even with explosions, I'm maintaining like 25. Yeah, so the new MacBook can actually play the game pretty good. I'm getting pretty good frames. I'm sticking to around 30 to 40 during intense moments, and other than that, I'm getting like 50, sometimes 180. And I'm playing on all high graphics, so I mean, this is nothing. I would say this is Rust running on the new 2015 MacBook Air 11-inch with the new HD 6000 graphics. Right now we have the graphics turned down all the way in Rust, and it runs pretty bad. Particularly Rust is kind of a poorly optimized game. But on top of that, there's quite a lot going on. The open world cities and stuff are really big. So it's playable. Is it like comfortable like this? Not really. I think if you really want to play Rust, you should get a MacBook Pro at the very least, because that one's gonna run a little bit better. But even then, I mean, if you actually want to play games, you might just need a dedicated graphics card from the 15-inch version. Yeah, like I'm lagging horribly right now.
Hooray! Another deadbolt hunter. Handsome Jackson, busy.
Not sure, but I think this might be running on the UT engine. The Unreal 3 maybe? Yeah, this runs really good.
Sorry about the mess. Everything Jack kills, he dumps here. Band-aid.
Yeah, the game runs really well. I literally ran it on medium, and I don't think it's gonna have any problem running on high either. So it's pretty cool being able to play that on Ultrabook, like I've been saying on all my other videos. So yeah, there's a lot of games out there that you can play now, and on the 11-inch you can do it. I did enjoy it. It has exceptionally good graphics, and the funny thing is, while you're watching this, I have everything low, to the lowest possible, and the game still looks great. But the thing is, you can't, like right now you're seeing about 15, 14 FPS. You can't really make it better than that, and that's kind of the case. There's no lower resolution. I'm on, I think, 1280 by 720. Yeah, there's nothing lower than that. So, and everything's on low, textures, lighting. So for the MacBook Air, I think that in most cases you're not going to be able to have a very enjoyable gameplay here. If you wanted to play the game, can you do it? Absolutely, I think you can. But the thing is, it's just not going to run as good as you think. What the heck? This is Barney from Black Mesa. So in conclusion, the MacBook Air can run most games, but there's just a few every now and then that come out, especially some of the newer titles, that it really does just kind of blow it out of the water, and it just doesn't run as well as we would hope. And Fallout 4 just happens to be that. If it's your first time here, I highly recommend you take a look around. I've tested a lot more games on the MacBook Air, not just this one, games that actually run decent. So have a look around, let me know what you think, because I'm really all about like getting feedback and actually making the videos better, making them kind of like on par to what you guys want. Alright, so here we are running around in some caves. It's running pretty darn good actually. You're getting a good 60 FPS. However, this is inside buildings though, so we're gonna have to see what it's like going outside. What's going on here? The game runs on high really well, and on ultra pretty much when you max out everything, it lags at like 25 to 30 FPS, but it's still playable. I mean, if I'm going to play that game, I'm going to want the maximum eye candy on the 2015 MacBook Air. Let's take a look and see how well this thing runs. Running better. Believe it or not, it's actually running a little bit better. It might be because the resolution was a tiny bit smaller, but in all actuality, it's running pretty good. I'd say either the same or a little bit better. Let's see, who do I want to pass it to? I don't really know why the MacBook Air seems to perform better than the MacBook Pro. It could be due to that resolution, but hard to say.
it's performing significantly better. And I've seen on some games it just performs better. I don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with the HD 6000 being more stable and more readily available, so companies optimize the game for it better. So this is Ark Survival running on the 2015 MacBook Air 11-inch. So as you can see, it actually does not run very good. It's having some issues. What happened was when they were making the game, everything defaults to high graphics when you first run the game, so it just runs absolutely horrible. So the first thing what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to turn the graphics down a little bit to try to get it running a little bit better. So I go in here and I change everything from high and pretty much try medium.
It's running Sims exceptionally smooth. I think I'm like at this 60 plus, maybe even 100 something frames. It's really smooth. Let me try turning up the graphics here. Game options. It's really smooth. The textures look really high res. Here we got our little bodybuilder friend over here. Yeah, I don't know. This game really, I think you can run this on ultra. I haven't tested it on ultra yet, but it runs really well on high. And I mean, I'm willing to play on low. I mean, for such a small like computer that can play games like this is really. I love testing games on this thing. It's pretty cool. I've always wanted a netbook / ultrabook size computer that can play games, and there you go. We have something that works. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers, guys. Bye. The graphics actually defaulted to medium, and it's actually running really freaking good. All right, let's get out of the car here. I don't know why the hell I'm lagging on the server. Can't even, not liking the scope, by the way. The scope kind of sucks. Got 2 kills just now. Three kills. There's a 4th guy down here somewhere. Oh, shit. Chopper, heads up. See if I can hit him with my MBT law. Oh, it's kind of hard to see. Alright, I need to get at least 1 kill before I die. Yeah, so I've been playing for a good 15 minutes or so. There you have it. It runs pretty darn good. There's really not a whole lot to complain about. Alright, switching players here. The vehicle here. Yeah, take a look. God, so action-packed. Holy shit. And I'm here to do an extended gaming test for you guys. So essentially what this means is I'm going to play this game and I'm going to see if I can actually do a decent job. At the same time, I'm also going to be playing for a really long time. So non-stop, and I'm going to try to see if I can get this MacBook Air to overheat, if I can get it to crash. Just overall, I'm going to give you guys my general thoughts and opinions on this device and how it plays these particular types of games. A lot of people online are convinced that you can't play games on the MacBook Air series. While I'm playing one of the most intensive, games out there right now, and I actually do a pretty decent job. Okay, so here I am in game. Let's see how well we can do. Playing on the MacBook Air 2015 edition. I do have some upgrades on this MacBook, but it won't really matter what the upgrades are because this game doesn't really take advantage of those upgrades. So even the base model will perform this well. So, and from what I can tell, it looks like on the MacBook Pro, you're getting about 5, maybe 10 FPS more. Based on me just running through the map, I can tell that even at the same graphical settings, you're not getting as good performance. And again, this probably has something to do with the Iris Pro in the MacBook Pro and the HD 6000 in the MacBook Air. Occasionally, the HD 6000 does perform better, but I haven't really been able to figure out why. It seems that the HD 6000 is more stable, and that could be due to all kinds of odd reasons. Who knows why? Maybe the cooling is better for it. Who knows? Most likely not though, because the fan is bigger on the MacBook Pro. The laptop does get somewhat hot, especially when you're pressing down the W key, but it's not hot enough to burn you. And I have never had this laptop overheat, which is what a lot of people ask me, does it overheat? Basically what I'm going to tell you is no, it doesn't. So I played the game for about 14 something minutes, and it's doing pretty good. I'm not running into any major freezing or glitching or anything. My MacBook is running really hot. Is this safe? Am I going to be okay playing games? The answer is yes. Gaming on laptops was really kind of a dangerous thing, 6 to 8 years ago. Like on some laptops you could, on some laptops you couldn't. When you would play, you weren't sure whether you were going to damage your components. The answer is you no longer have to worry, because now processors have a thing called thermal throttling, where if it's getting really hot, they can lower the temperature by just decreasing the gigahertz on the CPU from like 3 gigahertz to 2 gigahertz, and that's going to decrease the temperature. So you don't need to worry about that. On top of that, the fans and the overall design of the laptop has increased to give it a lot of headway so it can actually cool properly. What upgrades do I need to make sure my MacBook is going to be the best gaming MacBook possible? The answer to that is you pretty much don't need any upgrades except for the RAM. If you get the RAM, it's going to help you, because most of the time when you're going to be gaming, you're going to be getting really close to that 4 gigabyte ceiling. Opting for the 8 gig, you're ensuring that there's enough buffer, so you're going to make sure that you're going to have enough RAM. Because when you run out of RAM, that's when you get the stuttering effect in the game, and you really don't want that. Don't get the i7. It's just a big waste of money. It's going to make your system hotter, more unstable, and it won't give you more FPS. So don't get that. The SSD, I would recommend getting last if you can afford it, because it's kind of pricey, and in most instances you're gonna probably put your games on an external hard drive because you only have 128 or 256 SSD anyway. So get an external hard drive if you can. I'll have some recommendations on links I want you to check out at the very bottom here. And if you do check them out and you do decide to get one, I'll give a little bit of money off it. So if you can, go for it. My MacBook is making a lot of noise. Is this normal? Actually, yes. If it wasn't making noise, then it probably had passive cooling, or it wasn't working, or it's not on. So the fact that it's loud is normal, because the fan has to do its job to cool the system. The best place to get deals on Apple related products like the MacBooks is going to be on the Apple Refurbished website. I'll have a link for it down below, or on eBay or Amazon. You can get them at half price. Definitely take a look at those links, guys. Keep in mind, I've had these MacBooks longer than anybody else on YouTube, so I can give you guys the best knowledge in terms of what you should do with your MacBooks, how you can upgrade them, or what you should buy for them, that kind of. I want you to subscribe, because I believe in laptop gaming, and I think it's more becoming a common phenomenon than people would actually had hoped originally, and it's really thanks to the integrated graphics, because 3 or 4 years ago you couldn't really do that. You would have to have a gaming laptop to get anywhere near that kind of performance. I want you to subscribe, because I'll be reviewing all the latest laptops and be doing a little bit of gaming. The laptop reviews are actually going to be pretty entertaining and useful for you guys. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I highly recommend you do, because I like to keep a two-way communication with my subscribers. And if you guys ever have any questions, I will always answer them for you. A lot of other YouTubers out there, they hardly even comment. I'll be sure to keep in touch with you guys. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any idea on how I can improve this video, just leave a comment down below. Take care. Peace. Let's talk about MacBook Pro gaming. Can you game on the MacBook Pro? The answer is yes, you can. In fact, you can game on a lot of different laptops, and people have no clue. Check to see what kind of integrated graphics you have. If it's going to be any one of these here, you can game on your laptop. Now, the MacBook Pros tend to have slightly better integrated graphics, which is why I wanted to know how well they could play games. The MacBook Pros do a good job with a lot of things, but gaming, people have known for a long time that that's something they've been lagging behind. But it's been a while now, so let's take a look and see if they've improved. Here are the games that we're going to test. Watch the video all the way to the end, or at least skip to the end, because I will be answering the top questions I get from people. So right off the bat, I can tell you don't want to play on default graphics. You're going to need to lower any of the eye candy here, because it's going to run really, really well It's really smooth now. Mouse is not lagging or any of that. Alright, I'm gonna need yeah, it's time to kill Trendemir. Oh, my whole team can't be high. Okay, even with 1080p, pretty much all graphics maxed out, the game runs really well, man. 50 to 60 FPS with max graphics. Let's see here. Okay, so I would have had the console enabled, but I'm not able to bind a key to console to get it working. I don't know what's going on. But it's exceptionally smooth though. I did a review of this on the MacBook Air, and it ran really well on pretty much high everything. And right now we're running even better because the 6100 Iris is just more powerful. The i5 8GB RAM 128GB SSD. So here what we're doing is we're just testing to see how well this game runs on the 2015 MacBook Pro. I'm going to show you the gameplay, I'm going to show you the graphical settings I have it on, and we'll talk about whether it's playable in medium graphics today.
Love the old-esque feel of this game. It's great.
Very interesting game. Reminds me a lot of Half-Life 2 with the exploring and like the weird like dungeon-like feel. Very, very neat and interesting. Always trying to improve the quality of these videos and get new camera equipment, that kind of thing. So I hope you stick around. Yeah, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace. We have a resolution of 1680 by 1050. Okay, so here we are running on high graphics. Looks pretty good.
Prepare for battle.
It's running very smoothly.
As you wish. The battle
So I can tell you that, based on what I'm seeing here,
Put me in the battle.
wow, surprisingly it's running with everything on. Vertical sync, anti-aliasing, that's just crazy. Did not think it would be able to run this game.
I bring my blade.
These settings. That was awesome. The game runs really, really well on max graphics. The resolution wasn't maxed out, but the graphical textures were high. Vertical sync was on, anti-aliasing. This game runs really freaking good. Definitely like and thumbs up for that. That's just awesome. If you guys want me to test a specific game, leave the comment down below and subscribe, and I'll test the game for you. Got about 50 to 60 in this area here. Not bad. There's a decent amount of people running around. Definitely better than the MacBook. Definitely better than the MacBook Air. Let's go ahead and see what our graphical options are on. Okay, so we're on 1280 by 800. Let's go ahead and try to put these on a little bit higher graphics. We put most of the settings on good here. We're going to take a look, see how well this runs. Alright, so on good, everything was running pretty well. I was getting about 50 frames. I changed the textures to high. So now the graphical textures are maxed out. As you can see, take a look at this grass over here. It looks pretty detailed. With 12 chunks, fancy graphics, and pretty much everything maxed, getting about 40 frames per second. Frame rate's right over here, by the way. 34, 40, 52. So it's about 40 to 35, I would say. I'm gonna go ahead and increase the chunks. 24 chunks, so double the chunks. That's pretty funny. The FPS is like higher. It's probably because I'm heading towards the water-based area. Yeah, that's probably why. Increasing chunks hasn't really done anything In fact, I have more FPS. This is hilarious. It shouldn't be doing that, by the way. Well, we're not dropping under 30, so that's pretty good. Let's try maxing it out here in just a second. Well, so even on the top of this little tree here, still getting like 40 to. Well, it dropped down to 35 a second ago, but we're gonna take a look and see how well this MacBook Pro runs GTA 5. Now, we have all the graphics set to low, and we have vertical sync off, 800 by 600. Just take a look at how well this is running. So indoors, you're getting about 50 something FPS. But as you start going outside, you're gonna have about 45 to 30 FPS, and it's gonna be kind of jumping around in between there. Just take a look. We're gonna be going from scene to scene real quick here. I'm just gonna show you how the FPS plays out in different areas. We have a more detailed benchmark if you guys want to see more. I have one that's like 7 minutes long, which shows you step by step, like through the game, how well it runs and all that. We also did the actual in-game benchmark, so if you're interested in that as well, I'll have links to those things here. But as you can see, the game does play. Recently, they updated the requirements, and the graphics, the game just runs better now. So having said that, people kept asking me to test it, and I tested it, and we can see that it is running a lot better now. We're getting an additional 10 to 15 FPS, which is great, and I'm really excited and happy about that. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, please go ahead, hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and I hope you stick around. And if you have any questions, don't forget to comment. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Looks really nice. Lots of colors. So first thing I noticed was my mouse is invisible. 1440 by 900. I was able to actually get the mouse to reappear. So most of them defaulted to high settings. So with the graphics pretty much all on high, I'm getting about 35 to 40 FPS. I think I'm getting a little bit less right now.
In Rumford, more dead are coming. We can't open the gates until we drive them back.
Work of art. And the grass moves when you walk through it. High. On high. Too high shadows, you lose about 10 frames per second. And remember, I'm always standing by to help you guys out if you have any questions whatsoever about hardware, about which laptop you should get. Apply in game.
Not enough minerals.
Getting about 35 to 37 frames at the start of the game. Yeah, so here we are expanding.
Base is under attack.
There's something in the way.
Oh crap, we're already being attacked. 27 to 30 frames per second. Actually, it's just about medium because we have some things on high, like models. Try putting everything on high real quick. High. Okay, so here we are running on high. We're getting about 19 frames per second. As you can see on high, it's pretty much not playable because I'm getting about 17 to 15 frames. I mean, you could play like this if you really wanted, but medium to high or medium graphics is where you want to be. Low would run even better. On low, you'd probably get around 60 FPS. Medium, because if you turn the graphics up any more than that, it's going to start lagging really bad. It's playable, I would say. I mean, you can enjoy this game. Okay, when you go into like really destroyed areas, you're getting like 22 frames. A lot of people too. I mean, we're playing in a full server, 64 players.
Come on, I can repair.
Let's take a look and see the performance here. So I was actually really surprised how well it ran, believe it or not. The FPS was like 40, 35, 50. Pretty good for a computer that's running on integrated graphics. But there was one thing that was really kind of messed up. There's no sound, and I don't know why. There's no sound in the multiplayer. There's no sound in the single player. The sound drivers are just messed up. It could be Windows 10, it could be Windows 8. I'm not sure what's going on with that, so we'll have to look into that. So I encourage you to subscribe, because once I figure out why it doesn't work, I'll let you know. And if there's an update to the game, I'll test the game out to see if it's fixed. I'm always trying to improve the quality of my videos and the channel. So if you'd like to be a part of this community, where it's not just me talking to you, it's other people as well who will be replying to your comments, I highly encourage you to subscribe. Thank you. So when everything is on low, you can actually play the game with pretty okay resolution, believe it or not. You couldn't do this on the Air, and can't really do it with any other MacBook Pros, unless you have the new modern 2015 variant, or you have the 15-inch, which has a dedicated graphics chip, which is it's running okay. I wouldn't say it's running impressive. Let's see, oh look, there's a guy and he's got a rock and he's probably gonna come kill me. Oh shit. Oh yeah, he wants to kill me. Hello, can you hear me, my friend? Don't attack. Hey, what are you doing? Stop it! Stop attacking! Dude, why are you attacking me, bro? I don't have anything. I just fucking appeared, dude. Come on, leave me alone. Help! 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 Hey, what are you doing? God damn it, motherfucker! You little cunt. Fine. Die, bitch. You want some of this? You want some of this, motherfucker? Yeah. Yeah, take it. Oh, fucking damn assholes.
Gay!
Oh my god, it freaking just crashed. Or almost crashed. Shooter game. Alright, I guess it did. Let's see what it's like walking around. Might just be playable. With these graphics. Oh god, they're really bad. Oh whoa, there's like dinosaurs and stuff. Wow, looks a lot better. But still pretty laggy. Getting about 10 to 15 frames. This just looks awful. Why is this even a setting? Looks like I just had this happen to me. Great. And you guys want me to try something? Just let me know, because I mean, I'm basically doing this for you guys. I'm probably not even going to play this game, like... Oh snap. Oh no. Ah. This game. Pretty good, getting like 35, 40 FPS. This is great.
A couple settings that I used was 1280 by 800.
Come on.
I had high render quality, no anti-aliasing, and yeah, no frame limit. So
Getting about 10 to 15 frames. This just looks awful. Why is this even a setting? Looks like I just had this happen to me. Great. And you guys want me to try something? Just let me know, because I mean, I'm basically doing this for you guys. I'm probably not even going to play this game, like... Oh snap. Oh no. Ah. This game. Pretty good, getting like 35, 40 FPS. This is great.
a couple settings that I used was 1280 by 800.
Come on.
I had high render quality, no anti-aliasing. It runs pretty good, man. I can't really see any reason why you wouldn't be able to play this. What I can tell you though is during the cutscenes it can get a little bit laggy, but during the cutscene you really don't need that much control of the game anyway, so it doesn't matter that much.
There's treasure on the...
This is an intense battle zone right now, getting about 27, 28 frames, roughly on medium graphics here. To be frank, I don't recommend playing this game on anything higher than medium, just because if you do, when you're in an intense match like this, your FPS is going to fall even more than, it'll be lower than 25, it'll be lower than maybe even 20, because I'm getting 20, 25 right now during an intense area here, and when you're not in an intense zone, you get about 30, 40.
So we're in a server with about 18 people, 18 to 20, and what I can tell you is the game actually runs really well. You're not going to have any trouble running Team Fortress 2 on the MacBook Pro. So as you can see, I'm going to be getting about 50 to 60 frames during fairly action-packed moments. Like right now, it stayed between 50. Watch as I go into this other area where it's a lot more intense. You'll see in some open areas with some intense battles, you're going to drop down to probably about 36, 35 frames per second like we just did just now.
Pretty big buildings over here. Alright, now we're doing on low graphics. Ooh, much smoother. Game still looks pretty good. I think I would take the frame hit and just play the game on definitely playable on low, and it still looks great. Wow, it's 25 to 30 FPS. That's great, man. I'm really not complaining.
Well, I highly encourage you to subscribe. If you don't subscribe, I cannot continue to make these videos. This channel, I'm still trying to get more subscribers, so if you do that, that's the greatest thanks I can get.
Now we're just gonna see if you can actually have fun playing the game. So let's take a look. So we've got the graphics pretty much set to low, medium-ish, and resolution 1280 by 800. You'll learn that's the gold standard of resolutions for MacBook gaming. And actually, I was kind of worried because right now you can see that it's 25 FPS. It's kind of laggy. It just looks like it's not going to run right. But I was really surprised because once I actually started playing the game, I had about 30 FPS and I maintained it for a good deal of time. Sometimes it dropped down to like 25 to 30-ish, around there, in between there, but it actually didn't affect the gameplay whatsoever. I didn't feel like it was slow. I didn't feel like it was lagging. So regardless of what the frame rate is, what matters is if you feel like it's lagging. And in this case, it's not. I've tested a lot of games on the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, the 12-inch.
Now, this is the default graphics. It's been set to 1920 by 1200. Everything appears to be on low here. It runs really smooth, about 120 FPS, close to about 90. Let's go ahead and see if we can turn this up a little bit. Go ahead and put everything on medium. There's what it looks like there. 30, sometimes 40. But it still works, it's still playable, I would say. I want to see what it runs like on high. Everything on high, we're getting about 20, 25 FPS. So it's still playable, but it doesn't feel nearly as smooth. What I noticed is the frames will drop when I'm zooming in and out, when I'm moving left to right like this. Like I was telling you earlier, it can play on medium, it can play on high. If you are going to play on high graphics, turn the resolution down to 1400 by 700, around there, and you're going to be able to run the game pretty well. If you want to run at high resolutions like 1920 by 1080, you're probably going to want to stick to medium high-ish graphics. With the 13-inch, it's got the Iris 6100, which is pretty good, but if you want better graphics performance, I recommend getting the 15-inch and getting their dedicated graphics solution, either a 2014 or 2013 edition that has the 750M, or you can get the brand new 2015 variant that has the new AMD graphics, which is a little bit better. A little bit of a disappointment. People wanted the 2015 MacBook 15-inch to be better, but it's really not that much better. And low. Now, with it on low, it's definitely a little bit faster, but unfortunately we're still getting about 18 to 25 frames per second. The game does look pretty amazing, I'm not gonna lie.
The goalie, oh, he missed it.
Wow, look at that. That's something. So on everything low, 1280 by 800, it's pretty much up there, but I'm gonna see if I can lower the resolution to get some more playable frame rates here. Okay, so on the lowest setting, the game is playable actually, but it's still, you get a lot of input lag, but you don't get as much FPS lag. So you get about 25 frames on low everything. You know, I'll say it's playable. It's not the greatest, but it works. At least you can play this game. That's pretty impressive. Let me run around some more real quick, see what it's like. It still looks pretty darn good, even though we're not running on max graphics or anything. It's really cool. So I mean, if you like this game, you heard about it, and you wanted to play it, it's playable. I mean, not the...
My laptop's getting really hot. Is this safe for the MacBook? Well, it doesn't really matter which MacBook you have, and I'm going to say it's going to be just fine, because your laptop was designed to run specifically with an integrated GPU and a CPU, and it has a fan. That's kind of the point of the fan, is to cool the system. Some people are going to argue that it might not be healthy for the system for it to run at max load and be running at those high temperatures, but actually a CPU can run just fine at even like 100 Celsius or more. It just depends on how well the CPU was built and the limitations that are built inside of it. CPUs now have this thing called thermal throttling, where if the CPU is running at 3 gigahertz or 2.7 gigahertz, it can clock down to 2 gigahertz. It can clock down to 1.3 gigahertz or maybe 1 gigahertz to protect the CPU. On top of that, the fans have gotten substantially better. In the past, about 6 years ago, 8 years ago, gaming on a laptop was flat out dangerous because it got so hot that it could start a fire, the laptop could burn up and blow up, all kinds of things could happen, so that was horrible. What kind of accessories should I get for my MacBook? Well, if you're gonna game on the MacBook, you need an external hard drive, and I will have links below on what kind of hard drives I recommend. I don't recommend going super expensive unless you can afford it. Either get a 1 terabyte hard drive, or maybe even an SSD, like a 256 or 512 SSD, and make sure it's external, because you're gonna have an external little drive that you have to carry around with you. So what kind of accessories should I get? Well, the number one accessory I would recommend is some kind of handbag for you to carry your laptop around, because you can put it down somewhere, or you can drop it, or it can fall off a table, or vice versa, or somebody else could bump into you. So having it in a bag is really going to protect it, and I'll have links on what kind I recommend there just right below. I really recommend getting an external portable hard drive, either Seagate or Western Digital. It really doesn't matter which one you pick. I would say if you have money, go for the 1 terabyte or possibly even the 2 terabyte. What I can tell you is the 1 terabyte is a lot more reliable, so keep that in mind. If you can't afford it, grab an SSD variant, because the SSD variants are going to perform substantially better, anywhere from 10 to maybe even 20 times better. So in conclusion, what do I really think about the MacBook Pro? Well, I think it's a pretty awesome device. One thing that I always wished it had was the capability to game even better. And if that's what you're looking for, you should definitely think about getting the 15-inch that has the dedicated R9 graphics, or last year's model, which has the 750M dedicated graphics chip. And you can only get those in the 15-inch model. So if gaming is really important to you, 15-inch laptops are kind of the way to go, because they tend to have much better integrated GPUs. Now the thing is, not everybody wants a 15-inch, and not everybody wants to have a big bulky gaming computer. So the MacBook Pros really tend to be just kind of like that first pick that people kind of want. Of course, not everybody likes Apple computers, so let's take a look at all the things you're getting from the MacBook Pro. You're getting a really nice screen, you're getting a really nice body design on the MacBook Pros. It has to be one of the best I've seen, next to the ZenBooks and the Dell XPS, which are also very good options. But the metal body and the metal construction on these MacBook Pros happens to be really good. You get a really good trackpad, and you get a really good keyboard on top of that. And the sound is actually pretty darn good as well. When you take all those things into consideration, and the fact that you get Apple support services, like you can go inside an Apple store, get real service from real people, that's just great. So everything else, the MacBook Pro does really well. Gaming, maybe not as well, but it can still game, and it does a pretty good job with most titles as long as you're running on low to medium graphics, 1280 by 800. On some games you can bump it up substantially more, but you're not going to be able to do that with all games. And some games you just won't be able to run. That's just something you're going to have to be realistic about. But overall, would I recommend it? I would. It's SERGE. So I've tested the top 10 most popular games on a 12-inch MacBook because I wanted to see how well the 12-inch MacBook would perform. A lot of people told me that the gaming would not be possible at all on the 12-inch MacBook due to its weaker integrated GPU. Some of the tests I've done actually say otherwise. Take a look at the top 10 online multiplayer games. Also, I encourage you to watch to the very end of the video because at the end I'll be answering the top questions that people have about laptop gaming and the 12-inch MacBook gaming. I'll talk about accessories.
Alright, so I'm running at default graphics right now. 70 frames at Dragon. That's pretty darn good actually. I'm actually really impressed. The laptop's not getting hot or anything. This is great. Yeah, this is so awesome. I can play one of my favorite games on the MacBook with no problems whatsoever. 76 frames, look at that. Man, that's good. Yeah, I can't wait to try this on high. So far the lowest FPS drop that I had was like 32, but still runs pretty darn good. Alright, we got pretty much everybody on the map here. 41 frames. I think 1280 by 720, let's do this. I'm getting about 30 FPS. Based on what I'm seeing now, I'm getting 19 here in a hot zone. I do not recommend playing at this graphical setting. There you have it. You can play on the new MacBook. Pretty darn good. First game and I won. Model high, very low global shadow quality, and 1280 by 800. Oh man, this is running really smooth. I'm literally getting like 60 plus frames per second. Yeah, this is great. On medium graphics, but if it does get a little laggy, which it might during some intense moments, you might need to drop down to low, but it'll definitely run on low. See here, 1280 by 800, so it's on good, which I call medium. Put all the graphics down on low. Here's what it'll look like. The graphics turned down, and we're getting a good 51 FPS to 30 FPS just by putting it on low. And I mean, if you're really an enthusiast of this game, there's really no reason why you can't play this game on low graphics, on lower graphics, and it's actually really smooth. Like this is actually, I would say, is playable. Maybe it might glitch up, a little bit here and there, but this is actually playable. So as you can see, nice and smooth. This map is called Mines. It's really awesome. This guy, look at this guy. Oh. I can actually hit him from that little edge. He doesn't see me though, I don't think. So to recap, it runs pretty good on low. You can run it on medium like I said earlier, but I don't recommend it. Running pretty decent. When you're loading the map, at first it'll be a little bit laggy because you're loading the map, but this game is more than playable. In fact, on this new Retina display, I'm running at the ultra high resolution right now, full screen, and it's still running killer. Man, this is smooth. Really nice. So right now we're running in Windows. If you want to take a look and see how it runs on Mac OS X, Yosemite, go ahead and check out the other video. I'll leave a link down below. Yeah, the game runs freaking flawless. I don't know why people say it doesn't run good on this Mac. I mean, it runs really well, and I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it's medium. Pretty much everything's medium. Models are high. Lighting is low.
What's going on?
These are
Running on high, it's a little bit more glitchy. Yeah, it's starting to lag really bad on high. I do not recommend playing on high.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Runs on medium, pretty decent. Probably not the best, but it can play on medium. If you need to lower it to play with a lot more units, just put it on low. It's gonna run just fine, guys. I don't recommend playing on high. Right now, all the graphics are set on low on 2880 by 1960. 25 frames per second. So it's not the best, but it seems to work. Ladder over there. Oh, looks like he's dead already. Got him. We'll dodge these guys' shots. I'm gonna switch seats. There we go. It's on him. That's crazy. You get points for every hit. Still getting like 20 to 15 frames. I'm getting hits on him though. See, this is how you play as a freaking APC. You get movement.
Sort of playable on medium depending on which map you play on. So just play around with it. I think it's great that you can at least take that with you, and if you are going to play a little bit of Battlefield, that you're actually going to be able to play and have a decent time. And it's definitely pretty fun getting kills on that thing. So yeah, I think you guys are going to like it.
Surprisingly running not bad. I didn't think this game could actually run on the new MacBook at all, to be frank. It's actually running pretty good. Oh god, so laggy. Well, you know, graphics director failed to instalize. There you go. There's your GTA. So yeah, it doesn't run pretty good. Doesn't run good at all, unfortunately.
Your people lived for so many years in
Oh, that's pretty cool, Alexander.
legendary cities such as Athens, Sparta,
That's awesome.
Thebes, where they gave the world many great things such as democracy, philosophy.
Yeah. It's neat orders. It's running pretty smooth. There was a slight game hiccup, but it's still running now. It is definitely playable on the medium to high setting. So you're zoomed out. It's a little bit more laggier than the MacBook Airs, obviously, but I don't think that it's going to impede the game that much. Now, just let me know what you guys think in the comment section down here below. And if you can, go ahead, subscribe. Help me reach my subscriber goal. Yes. Ooh, that is just terrible. Let's see what else we can put on. Yeah, definitely not playable on medium at all.
Games run well on the 12-inch MacBook, while others not so well. There's plenty of games you actually can run on the 12-inch MacBook. This happens to be one of the few exceptions that I've run into. So this particular city building game, no bueno. So what do I really think about the 12-inch MacBook? Well, actually it runs most games, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. And as a multimedia device, it's really impressive how good it is, sleek and thin. You got that amazing trackpad, which you can't really find anywhere else. It's humongous. Very good speakers. So when you're actually playing a game, you can hear things really well. It's got the great screen. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of ports, so it does make the gaming complicated, which is why I would recommend getting a hub for your 12-inch MacBook. With
very little ports. It's hard to charge your MacBook and play the game at the same time. The other accessory that I recommend for your 12-inch MacBook would be a type of sleeve, and I have reviewed this sleeve on my channel before, so if you haven't seen that video, take a quick look. It's actually really high quality and it's very simple, and that's kind of the point of the 12-inch MacBook, to simplify things. The other accessory that I recommend would be a external hard drive for your games. One of the other benefits of the 12-inch MacBook is that you can use external battery packs to actually charge your 12-inch MacBook. You can't really do that with a lot of other laptops. You're gaming a lot and you're going to actually rely on this laptop. Take a look at some of these links. And remember, if you use these links, they actually give me a little bit of a kickback, which is kind of nice. So I would appreciate it if you did use them, if you were planning on buying those items. The 12-inch MacBook handles heat pretty good. It is a fanless design. It uses passive cooling, which means it cools by just the metal body touching the CPU and GPU combo, and so it just cools and disperses throughout the whole metal body. There is a spot near the speaker in the top sort of middle to right area where it does get fairly warm, but it's quiet and it just gets a little bit warm. So it doesn't get very hot, and it's actually pretty good for gaming, because if you're going to be gaming at like a college or at somebody's house or something and you don't want your computer to be too loud, this is actually a really great option for that, because you're not going to run into any issues with that. Now, the performance of the overall MacBook, we know that it's not the most powerful computer. It does have that Core M, and it starts at like 1 gigahertz something, 1.1. But the thing is, it has Turbo Boost. And thanks to Turbo Boost, when it needs an extra kick, it can jump up to like 1.5, 1.7, around there, even 2.3 on some of the models. So always check to see if the CPU has Turbo Boost before deciding, oh, it's just 1 gigahertz, it's not fast enough. Well, it actually is pretty fast. At the end of the day, you just have to ask yourself, what kind of device are you looking for? Does this device fulfill all your requirements? Me in particular, I just wanted a multimedia device. I wanted something portable. I wanted to be able to replace my tablet, and with this device, you can. I find myself using it more than my tablet, which is like, that's weird. How is that even possible? Well, because it's so thin and light, you actually would rather have control of a thin and light laptop than a tablet, because tablet computing isn't going to be nearly as good. So overall, can you game on the 12-inch MacBook? The answer is yes, you can do light gaming on it. And when I say light, I just mean the graphics are going to have to be as low as possible for most games. Some of the top, most popular games, like League of Legends, for instance, and Counter-Strike, they're optimized. They're going to run really well regardless of what system you're on. Of course, it's always nice to check to see how well it's going to run, because you're not sure. Some systems won't even boot up the game. You saw GTA 5 actually crashed in my test, and it will probably continue to crash every time I try to play it. So some games work and some games don't, and that's just a downside to gaming on the 12-inch MacBook.
So when you're trying to choose an upgrade, and trying to decide should you get the 4 gig or the 8 gig for RAM, and I would say go for the 8 gig, because the 8 gig is going to be able to play more games. It's going to be more fluid, and it's not going to be as choppy, and it won't freeze up as much. So always opt for an 8 gig solution. Grabbing the 16 gigabyte on any laptop really isn't going to help you. Don't do it. It's just a waste of money. Don't grab the i7 upgrade, because again, it just makes your system more hot, doesn't provide you any extra performance, and there is a phenomenon called thermal throttling, where the CPU decreases its performance to try to prevent the system from overheating. So stay away from the i7, just pick the i5 processor and you should be golden. The other thing to consider is storage. So the 128 gigabyte storage in the Air is just not enough. Always pick 256 or 512. The reason for this is, if you're a serious gamer, most likely you will install Windows on your MacBook. And I have a tutorial right over here for it. So take a look at that if you're a serious gamer and you want to game on the MacBook, because gaming in macOS, you only have about 25% of the games that you would normally play on macOS. So if you want to play games, you have to get Windows installed. Now, most of the time, playing on macOS is going to give you half the FPS. So if you're playing League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Minecraft, maybe you're getting 25, 35 FPS. Well, the thing is, if you were to play in the Windows environment, boot up in Windows 10, you would be getting like 50 FPS. You could be sometimes getting 60 FPS. So definitely take a look at this tutorial here. It'll explain to you how to get Windows installed on your MacBook, and it'll have a little bit of recommendations on what you should do and how you should go about doing that. But definitely grab yourself the 256 or 512 SSD storage, because by the time you install a few games, you're just going to be out of storage and you won't be able to do anything on your MacBook. And trust me, you don't want to get stuck in that position. If you grab the 128, here's what will happen. You'll install Windows and you'll have only 20 gigs left, maybe 15 gigs. And Grand Theft Auto 5 is a 65 gigabyte game, so you just won't be able to play games. But if you do get stuck in that position, grab this external hard drive right over here. I'll have links of it posted down below. Take a look at it, grab it, buy it, get yourself a 512 or maybe 1 gigabyte or maybe 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte hard drive, because these hard drives are going to provide you much better access to games, because you can install more games on there. Me personally, I just have a 2 terabyte drive I carry around with me everywhere I go. If I have a laptop with me, I just have it with me, because that's where I keep my Steam library. I have 2 terabytes of games, and I don't even have all my games installed. You know, if I install all my games, it's going to be about 4 terabytes. So grab a 2 terabyte or maybe even a 4 terabyte drive, and I'll have links for that, so definitely take a look at those. I left a bunch of useful links in the comments section below and in the description that allow you guys to purchase certain things for your MacBooks that will help you either carry them around, protect them, like cases, book carrying bags, that kind of thing, and other accessories like hard drives, what kind of mouses you can get, what type of gaming mouses to consider, and overall just useful links that you guys may want to check out if you are considering gaming on the MacBook series. So the number one question that I get about these MacBooks is, isn't it not designed for gaming? Isn't it really gonna, ramp up the fan? It's gonna speed up and it's gonna get the system really, really hot, and it's gonna decrease the life of the MacBook. I can tell you for a fact that it does not decrease the life of the MacBook. Now here's why. So these MacBooks were designed with a CPU, and this CPU has an integrated graphics chip inside it. Now the thing is, it's designed to work. There's no reason that you playing games on your MacBook is damaging it in any way, because it has been designed to be able to play games and to be able to do light gaming. So having said that, because it's designed, I don't think you need to worry about anything at all. Yes, the fan will get loud. Yes, the system will get hot. But that is a normal part of operating it, and gaming in general takes a ton of CPU and GPU power, which is why the fan ramps up, and that's why if you're plugged in via battery, that'll make it even a little bit more hot as well. But it won't get hot enough to burn you, and usually sound and heat just doesn't get in the way. Like if you're already gaming on a MacBook, chances are you just want to have a nice Ultrabook and you want to have some gaming capabilities on the side. And it really just doesn't get in the way. A lot of people think that it might, or that it's dangerous, but I don't think it is, because based on all the testing I've done, and I've had all 3 of these for over a year, played around with them, and I just can't seem to break them. They're stable and they just work really, really well. I've also left some links to the MacBooks, like the Air, 12-inch, and Pro, in the description. These are specific models that I think are best for gaming. Those are the models that are going to have the 8 gigabyte RAM or more and a little bit more storage, like the 256 SSD. Use these links, guys. If you found this video helpful, use the link, because it gives me a little bit of commission for it. And the best thing, most easiest thing you can do is just take one of these bookmarks and bookmark it. So keep it in your URL, so the next time you shop on Amazon, I'll get a small commission. It just helps the channel out a lot, but again, it's optional. You don't have to do it. So people are always asking me, which MacBook is best for gaming? I'm going to tell you right off the bat that it's most likely the MacBook Pro, because of its stronger GPU and extra RAM. Its CPU is also a 28 watt CPU as opposed to the 15 watt in the Air, and the 12-inch MacBook has even weaker CPU and GPU combo, so that's the one that I would recommend least. But if you really like the design, you can definitely still pick it and definitely still play games on it. You just won't be as smooth of an experience. All in all 3 of them work, but the MacBook Pro is just a little bit stronger. That's the one I recommend. Now I have noticed that the MacBook Pro is more unstable. It's more unstable, and I think that has something to do with the drivers and the support. So when people are making games, they test out their game on HD 6000, which is in the MacBook Air, as opposed to testing in Iris 6100, which is in the MacBook Pro. Now the reason for that is the MacBook Air sells more, it's a more readily available product, there's more HD 6000 chips out there, so the MacBook Air runs more stable, but you get a little bit less FPS. So overall, if you want to game, you could either choose the MacBook Pro with a little bit more performance, or the MacBook Air with a little bit decreased performance, but a lot more stability, which is really, really nice. And the reason stability is important is because when you're gaming, you have a percent chance where your computer will just shut off, it can freeze up, your game might crash. And when you're playing on the Air, that almost never happens. When you're playing on the Pro, I have noticed more crashing, just more system instability. It could be due to the heat, and I have tried using MacBook like coolers, like the coolers you slide under there, and they really don't help out that much. The only MacBook that the coolers help out for is going to be the 12-inch MacBook, and that's the only one that I recommend you guys get a cooler for, because on the MacBook Pro and on the Air, the cooler has no way to provide extra cool air into the system because the aluminum chassis just kind of it bounces the air right back, so it doesn't actually go into the vents and give it cool air because there's just no way to do it. It's just not possible. Regardless of how you position the fans, it won't work. But the 12-inch MacBook, the actual metal body is connected to the CPU GPU combo, and it has a thing called passive cooling where it uses the metal body itself to cool the device. So if you have cold air blowing on the 12-inch MacBook, it actually does legitimately cool it. So if you are a gamer and if you want to get a little bit more performance out of it, go ahead, take a look at some of these links here that I left up. It'll be either here or here, and you can see that the 12-inch MacBook does benefit from a cooler significantly. I was able to increase my FPS, I think, by about 30%, which is really, really good, especially when you're doing extended gaming, that's where it really, really helps. Now, people always ask me, what's it like to game with a controller? The thing is, you can game with an Xbox controller, you can game with a Steam controller. I'll have links for those in the description. And if you really like gaming on a controller, that's the way you want to go. You either want to get an Xbox controller or you want to get a Steam controller. Both controllers are good, both are kind of different. My best advice is just to get both, use them, and then take away the one you don't like and keep the one you do like, because chances are you may prefer one over the other, and there's really no way to know until you just game with it. Each person's preference is going to be different. This is the same reason and logic why I tell people, go and try out the MacBooks in the Apple Store. Try it from a friend, try it from a family member, because there's no way to know how good these MacBooks are and how good these controllers are until you play around with them. If you guys are looking to save money on purchasing these products, consider getting a refurbished MacBook. Now, the reason for getting a refurbished MacBook is because you'll save about 20 to 30%. Now, Apple, all they do is they take these returned Apple products, they recondition them, they clean them from head to toe. If there's a scratch or something, they open up the casing, they put a new casing on there, and it's fixed. So it's like buying a brand new MacBook, and it's a lot better than buying a used one. Me personally, I would never, ever buy a refurbished product. But until I realized that Apple refurbished is actually good, and the reason, okay, so here's what happened. I always stayed away from refurbished because I bought a refurbished video card once and it was awful. It kept turning off and on. I had tons of issues with it. Most companies do not do a good job refurbishing products. They might fix one thing, but they might not fix the other, and then they send the product to you and then you're just kind of stuck. Well, with Apple refurbished, they completely clean the device. They test and test and test to make sure the device actually works, and then they sell it to you for 20 to 30% off. So take a look at the Apple refurbished sites because they're really, really good at getting you a really good deal. And then there's also student discounts available too. If you are a student, they'll give you maybe $150, $200 off as well. So take a look at those. If you watched this far, I want to thank you guys. I want to ask you to subscribe. I've spent probably close to 500 hours doing this, and I put it all in 1 hour video for you. So take a look. And if you have any questions, I really am standing by to help you guys out. And actually, I do really love you guys. So take a look at that. The last thing I want to tell you is the new MacBooks should be out very soon.
Apple releases these MacBooks every 6 to 12 months, and I'm going to stay on top of it to get you guys more gaming tests, to get you guys more gaming related videos. So if you are interested in that, I do recommend you subscribe and check out some of the product reviews I've done, because they're kind of cool to take a look at. And I'll see you in the next one.